of the Empire State Building.
Z100, New York.
What's going on? It's Mo Bounce at Z100 in studio. I'm so glad to have her back here. It's been a minute, but it's okay, like 5 minutes. But Ciara's back right now. What's up? Welcome.
What's up? Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I love when, because like now we're filming this. It's not too early in the morning, but it's early enough. But when someone comes in with that bright smile, it just lights up the room. It's always good to have that.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I feel like I have so many reasons to smile. It's been a long time since I've done an interview, so
Yeah.
this is exciting. I'm like, here we go again. Like, reminder how it all goes.
It's like
but
riding
it
a
feels
bike,
good.
though. You're good.
It feels really good.
And to have and that's the thing too. Before we get into the whole business of everything, there's so much going on with your life right now, with musically, fashion. I mean, you're touching everything, which is amazing.
Yay,
But
thank you.
have this positivity, and there's never like a negative thing. When you think of you think of girl's just always smiling. She's having a great time. She's got a beautiful family. Her life is just doing it's really nice to see that, and it's refreshing because in a world that we live in today with so much going on, we won't get into all that. But it's nice to have that breath of fresh air. That's probably the best way to explain it.
Well, it's really sweet of you to say all that. I will say that every day is not perfect.
Absolutely not. You're a human
but
being.
you know
Exactly.
what? I'm very grateful, and I don't know. I just love being happy, honestly. I think that's the way you have to kind of commit to life, is choose happiness when you start your day and your best, even when it's like tough and you're like, I don't really feel like smiling right now. It's just when you try to push through and try to find that sweet spot. I don't know if life just feels better. So, but thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And okay, so there's a lot to talk about, but first and foremost, big congrats on InStyle Magazine, April
Yay,
cover.
yay.
That's a big deal.
Yay, thank you.
That's
That's
what
a
makes me
dream
smile,
come
too.
true. That's a dream come true for me. I honestly had always dreamt of being on that cover, and that was definitely one of the ones that I wanted to do. And my friend Laura Brown, she's the editor-in-chief, and she's also, she's my friend. So it was kind of crazy when she texted me, like, even though we're friends, it's still crazy that you're asking me to be on the cover. Like, that's what I'm saying in my mind. I'm not telling her, but,
yeah.
I told her last night at our dinner, we did a dinner to celebrate the cover, but it's definitely a blessing, and it's an honor, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah,
I'm really proud.
how because we all know, and just by following you, it's on social, what we see of your life, we see that fashion is a big part of your life. How has that changed through the years? How is your fashion? I don't know how to put that. How has it changed through the years? Because we know you from back in the day, Ciara, and we know you from in between Ciara. We know you now, Ciara. But like
Yes.
fashion is way more. I don't know how to. What's the word?
Evolved.
Big time.
I
no.
could say I will say,
Matured, maybe. Is that a good word?
yeah, I've grown tremendously. At least I think I have. I look back at some of the old photos, and I'm like, what was I thinking at that moment?
Well, we all gotta go
But
through
you know
that.
what? Listen,
Yeah.
I'm proud of those moments too. I've always had a passion for fashion. I've always felt that music and fashion go hand in hand, and I really enjoy being creative with fashion. It's a vehicle that allows us artists to express ourselves, and especially when we're doing like videos and photo
Absolutely.
shoots. It's always fun getting dressed up. What girl doesn't love getting dressed up and glammed up? So I've always enjoyed that, but I've always wanted to grow in that area and just keep learning and studying fashion and like figuring out ways that I keep reinventing myself. Like, because I think that's important for us as artists. Like, how do we keep growing and essentially evolving? And I will say it's been a journey, a fun fashion journey over the years, but it is cool when I look up and I did my first cover of Vogue Arabia this past year, and
Kind
the
of a big
cover's
deal,
like
too.
it's a blessing.
Yeah.
And so I'm proud of those moments because I think putting the effort into fashion contributes to all of that, and people get to grow with you in that way too. So I've been having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of fashion and everything else, let's talk about the video Think About You, because I think by the time this is all like,
Yes,
on the
yes.
everywhere,
Yes.
people will be able to see the video. But let's talk about the video. Let's talk about fashion in the video. Let's talk
Yeah.
about what people could expect from the video in particular before we get to the music part about the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Well, with Thinking About You, for me, it was important with this video to connect with my fans. And for I think every girl, we all know the feeling of, like, I think all of us girls can relate. And even the fellas, too. Like, when you meet someone for the first time and that feeling, that excitement that you have about, like, the text and, like, the thoughts of them and how you're thinking of them.
Anticipation.
And, like, yeah. And then just, like, the curiosity, like, I wonder if your love's a game, like just kissing girls and taking names, like all those different thoughts, run through your mind. But there's also this feeling of the dance that comes through that for me. And this
Well, that's
visual,
always been a huge part too with you as well.
very important.
I mean, huge.
And it's a big part of the narration of my story for this visual. And I want to take my fans on that journey. So some moments are very simple and very real. And just like any girl would be in their house, you know, on a regular day. But what she's feeling when she's thinking about her love, like you do silly stuff. You're dancing around in the bathroom. You're singing out loud in the bathtub. You're just feeling
I've
so
done
good.
that before too. I'm a guy.
Exactly, exactly. We all can relate, right?
I've done it.
See, that's a good thing. It's good for us girls to know that you guys think like that too.
Absolutely. We just don't admit it as much. 'Cause,
Yeah.
we got to be dudes.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
like,
But,
no,
it's
man.
real. Love is real, and
Yeah,
we all
exactly.
can relate, and we all connect.
And makes you do funny things sometimes. It makes you
It
act
does.
funny in the
Love
bathroom in
makes
the
you
mirror.
do a lot of silly things, but that's the beauty of love, and it's fun. And in this visual, fashion wise, there's a range of like the normal me, like just getting my day started, and then there's when the night ends. It's a bit more of a fashion forward moment, and but still cool girl. I wanted to make sure that in this visual that there's a cool girl attitude to everything that I'm doing, and so rather than me perhaps putting on like a nice dress, I'm actually gonna put on like a fly like fitted pantsuit and like, you know, kind of be boss that way. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And make a statement.
yeah,
Exactly. So Beauty Marks, the release, let's talk about all things Beauty Marks because you got the label,
Yes,
you have the album,
yes.
everything kind of envelopes into this big circle of amazingness. So let's talk about everything with the song, with the album, and everything
Yeah.
else. Let's go.
Well, I'm super, super proud of this chapter. Beauty Marks Entertainment has been a very special and probably by far the most important project of my career, essentially, because this is my first time I've ever taken everything into full control. And now, you know, being the CEO of my own company, my own record label, it's a whole different hat that I'm wearing, a whole new hat that I'm wearing. And it's been an incredible challenge. You know, and Beauty Marks, the idea or the name of our company is kind of behind the idea of all the obstacles that you face in life. All the scars that you get from the obstacles you face in life are actually your beauty marks.
Yeah.
And so the idea is like, you know, I think for every person, like whether it's a young girl or boy, doesn't matter. You know, we also talk about having the idea of like, why not you? Why not you be able, you know, be able to go and run your own company or, you know, be able to go and run your own company. And in my case, I always dreamt of having my own record label, but it wasn't necessarily in my plans when it happened.
Yeah.
And it kind of happened by way of like perfect timing. And I say God's timing, because I had went through a whole, like, so I'll kind of try to walk you through it as quick as I can, but I was 8 months pregnant recording my album. And, I was actually signed to Warner Brothers at that time period. And a little bit before that, I remember I was in the process of negotiating with Warner Brothers, and I was like 3 months pregnant, and I was so excited but so nervous at the same time because when I started the talks with that label, I wasn't pregnant, and then the deal was taking longer to like put together, and then
all
I'm
the
like,
business stuff that we don't always hear
and
about.
then I'm like,
Yeah.
here it is, I'm having the sweetest time in my life, essentially, or another
Yeah.
one of the sweetest times in my life. I'm pregnant and then with my first daughter, and then I'm like, okay, like what is this going to mean in our deal making process? Is the deal going to happen? And you know, me and my husband talked, me and Russell talked, and you know, he was super supportive. He's like, look, this is one of the most beautiful times in your life. Like you can't be afraid of that. Like you can't, like, because I was like, what is this going to mean, right?
Yeah.
Because unfortunately in our industry, oftentimes when you get pregnant, people kind of put this they kind of create this image of what you will become or what you want to do. Like, oh, she wants to be a housewife. She just wants to do this. You know, they're not going to.
That's sad too.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just the reality though,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's becoming more and more common for corporations and businesses to embrace when women go on that phase in their life.
I feel
But
like that's a no-brainer. Like,
you know what? I mean,
not that we have to get into it, but why not? Like,
Yeah.
why is this such like a? I mean, we heard it with Cardi recently when she was like, we all kind of knew like what you're talking about because you've been in the game a lot longer. So what you're talking about is like, I knew this kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
And then Cardi was like, I can't believe they're doing this, but it's like they're doing. But she was out with it too.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you're talking about it too because it's one of those stigmas that like. Again,
we can do anything,
yeah,
okay?
Of course.
All my ladies, where y'all at? They're trying. All my mamas, they got jobs. They got to do the job of being a mom. They also got their family life. It's so much to balance. But I always say that we're all built for all that we go through in life, and that's for woman and man. It doesn't matter. We all are, and it's all about how we look at things. We just have to embrace, the journey.
And that's what
so,
you did. That's
yeah. So
part
I
of
was
your
like,
life.
so I shared it with at that time period, there was an executive named Monty Olson who was the senior vice president of A&R. And he was the one that actually was, part of getting my deal with the label at time period. And so with Warner at that time. And I told him, and he didn't flinch. He's a family guy too. And he was just like, whatever we got to do, we'll make it happen. He's like, we'll fly to you. We'll do, like, he was so supportive. And that was the greatest relief of life.
That's like a weight
So,
off.
oh yeah, weight
Big time.
off. I'm excited. We're going to keep on going, with this thing. We're going to get the deal done. I'm going to go record my album, all that good stuff. So that part happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then I recorded my record. I had the song Level Up for a long time. I actually recorded Level Up when I was like 8 months pregnant. And I remember dancing in the studio with my big belly, just feeling so good though.
Yeah.
Like I was in the best place ever. It kind of was similar to what I felt when I put my first album, Goodies, out. Like just kind of back to being like carefree and not overthinking the process. Just
And enjoying
going
the craft of it. Just having
enjoying
fun with it.
enjoying myself, enjoying the process fully, and just letting go in that. And so that was great. So that was all all good. And then basically after I had my daughter, I probably took like almost a month or so to kind of pause and be in that. And then let's see what happened here. Was getting ready to do the record. Then the CEO that was the one that was a part of my first me signing. He left the company. Then another CEO comes in. So mind you, there's a process that you go through for like the approval process for people to like, support the record, believe in the record you want to go with. I always said Level Up is my record. I'm like, Level Up is a song. I think this
That
is
was a pivotal point.
I was like, yeah, it was very, I remember this film when I had Goodies. I said the same thing about that song. I was like, this is the one song that's going to change the game for me. This is the best way for me to meet the world for the first time. And I had the same feeling about Level Up. Like, this is the first song I think I need to share with my fans back on this project. And so I believed in it, but there was this whole process, the changing of the guards, having to hear different opinions about the song, if it's going to work or if it's not going to work, if I'm going to stream again like that. But mind you, no one's really telling me this stuff. I just know they're saying this stuff, right? So
It's
then,
you just being a veteran in the game.
yeah.
and
So
being
I'm like,
okay.
yeah, and some of it I also discovered a little bit later, honestly. But I'm also like with business. I'm like, look, there's no gray in business. I'm a very black and white kind of person. Like, like tell me what it is, what it isn't. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I've learned early on you cannot have emotions in business, right?
Yeah.
So none of it will
Especially
hurt
this business.
none of it will hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
This business is tough.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've heard it all. I've seen it all. People have tried to steal records from me that I wrote on. There's
so
a
glad
lot
you're
of cool
talking about
stories
these
that I could
things.
tell you,
Yeah.
But it builds character. Again, the scars that we get from the obstacles we face in life are our beauty marks. So I embrace it all, right? So, gosh, where am I? So basically, hearing all this stuff, trying to get the record, approved, everybody get the green light on the record. People challenged me on the creative for the video, just everything. So then got the visual. I ended up going to New Zealand on my own. I went and shot the video for Level Up with this girl named Paris Goebel. I'm thankful for my choreographer, Jamaica Craft, who I've known since I was 16 years old. She connected me with Paris. Went to New Zealand, and we created the visual for Level Up. It was very guerrilla style. I had like 12 hours to learn how to do the video, to learn how to do the dance in the video. And then we shot the video like 2 days after I got there, and that came back special. New person comes into office at the label, sit down and have a meeting with them, and then unfortunately, we just couldn't see eye to eye on the vision.
Yeah.
But I believed in the vision, so I didn't stop. And that was that moment where the opportunity came for me to create my own label. Because I kept saying, if I ever get a chance to, I was like, as soon as I get a chance to do my own label, I'm going to do it. Because
Now's the time.
because I felt creatively handicapped at times because I have to wait for people to say yes and no and approvals. And it's like the power is out of my hand. I work so hard on this art, but I still have to wait for someone else to tell me that it's okay to share it with the world. And so the opportunity came. I created Beauty Marks Entertainment. Originally, I had created my own management company before that, which was a part of Beauty Marks Entertainment. Then created the label, and it's been an incredible journey. And mind you, they said that I wouldn't stream like that, but we're almost at almost 400 million streams in total for Level Up alone.
That's kind of a big deal.
And so God is good, right? It's like, the power of believing in yourself. And I've always said that it always takes one person to believe that person is you. And I've heard so many more no's than I've heard yeses in my journey. And so I'm kind of used to having to power through moments. And when people say no or they don't believe it, they don't see the vision. Like I'm a very strong-headed person. So I'm like, I'm going to go after this thing, right?
It's people I think confuse cockiness and conceited with just being confident and knowing what they want and how they want to do and it's not because it doesn't have to come off like in a way that's like mean or anything like that. It's just like, hey, this is what I want. This is my vision. This is my company.
Yep.
This is how I want to do it. And this is how we're going to do it. And,
Yep.
and you've got to surround yourself with people that have the same vision.
You
That's
have
all it
to.
is.
I'm pretty confident that most of the greats that do this, they don't get there by saying, maybe.
Yeah, no, they don't.
No.
We don't hear
You
about
got
it,
to
but they don't.
believe in yourself. And
Mhm.
sometimes there is a bit of a self-talk process that I go through when I'm, maybe having a little bit of doubt or can kind of get a little doubtful because of outside noise. But I'm like, you got to commit. Like, even if it's going to be wrong, commit. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of a bit of
All
my,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have to. So it's been an incredible ride, creating my own company. And then the album, it was only right that I entitled it Beauty Marks. I have an incredible song that I wrote, and it was produced by, I co-wrote with my friend, Skylar Gray.
Oh, yeah.
And she also produced the song as well. And it really kind of encompasses what Beauty Marks means to me on a personal level as well. And so it's just a very special project for me. I'm honestly so proud of the journey that I've gone through. And again, going back to embracing, the obstacles or the scars that I've gotten from the obstacles, even down to the physical scars. I have like stretch marks on my right side and my left side from my 2 babies.
That's real life.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
real.
But those are my beauty marks,
Yeah.
right? I look down and I'm like, you know what? It's all right. I got a diastasis recti. This is probably going over your head. But for women that have had babies,
I have 2 kids myself.
when
so.
your stomach muscles, like you have to rebuild them back. But I'm like, these are my beauty marks. And I'm
Yep.
so proud. When I look at my kids, I'm like, hey, like
Worth
all
it.
is good. Nothing's wrong at all.
Yeah. Just a little bit
So yeah,
nervous.
exactly. Just a little bit. So you know about it. You know about the creams.
So, wow, man. I'm just glad you talked at length about the whole journey, because I think sometimes people want to see what's on the outside, which is great. Your music, this and that, great. But sometimes you need to hear, hey, but this is how I got here. And sometimes it makes it all sound better. And I don't mean sonically. I mean the story that kind of puts, like, that glues everything together. And that's what I think is amazing about you and the story you just told about coming up and being your own boss and putting your music out the way you want to put it out and saying yes and no to the stuff that you want to say yes and no to.
Absolutely.
And I think that really comes through in the music too, because it shows not just your strength, but also vulnerability, which is also a good thing.
I've learned I will say I'd like to believe I'm a very tough girl, but one of the most
Nah, you're softy. You're all right.
Try me. No, I was playing. No, but honestly, I've just learned that you really find your true strength in the moment that you allow yourself to be vulnerable. And I had to learn that lesson a bit of the hard way, but it was necessary because so I've been so used to in life just trying to like not cover up, but like suck it up and keep moving and be tough, because that's the industry that I work in.
Yep.
And that's kind of how I've survived through life, whether it's, personal experiences or work. I've just kind of like taken on the attitude of like, find the happiness, that thing I told you earlier, it's like, let's always be happy.
Yeah.
It's all right. Toughen it up. It's, but the reality is that you have to pause sometimes. Sometimes you have to pause and be vulnerable. And I think that's when we really discover a lot about ourselves, and that's when we truly grow. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of been like one of the important life lessons for me. It's just like, allowing myself to do that. And then I think there's something also, important to, the platform that I'm given. There's so many people that I know are just like me, and I've been given the opportunity to have a huge platform to use my voice to help others. So that's honestly why I like expressing myself through music, and I like having real conversations, especially now. I think I feel like a bit of a responsibility, and I don't know if it's the mom in me now, but to be able to share my journey to hopefully help somebody else, right?
It's all part of growth, like you spoke about.
So it's been fun being vulnerable in the process, and I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I mean, there's a lot of things that I learned on the back end of having my own label, like, there's like budget issues that are really real.
Now, are you going to have also other artists? Are we going to see like, I know we're focusing on you and your music and your label, but I know with a label, people hearing that are going to be like, let me hit up Ciara.
We've gotten some emails. Honestly, I'm taking my time in that process. Yeah. There's something really cool that my husband and I are chewing on that's pretty fun too, that I can't wait to share what that is. But I definitely do have I do have plans when the timing is right to hopefully provide opportunities for other artists like I've been able to give myself, kind of want to do things a little bit more favorable for the artist. I just think that's the culture that we're living in. And I think the idea of the traditional record label is going to change tremendously.
I see this every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do what you do every day, but I'm on the sidelines seeing it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
it's going to change tremendously, and I think we all have to adjust.
Yeah.
The labels and the artists, like the music is being processed way differently now. It's being released way differently.
Yep.
It's being the traffic is way heavier than ever before in music. Like when we're looking at releases and we're talking about timelines, it's like, and that's on the back end side, but you're like, wow, like I've never seen this much traffic at one time.
And everything has to be super instant too.
Yes,
Like,
super instant. And that, you know, it's so funny. I also learned the power of the instant world that we're living in, or like with our platforms, because on a song like Level Up, when, you know, maybe someone told me it wasn't going to be successful, or they said like, played them the video, everything, played them the record, they couldn't hear it. And then literally when I put the song out directly to my fans, right? 24 hours, within 24 hours or even less, there were viral videos happening for the Level Up Challenge. Like, and that also showed me the power of my fans and the connection that I have with them. And it's just a different day in music. And I think we all have to adjust. And so I just want to say thank you to my fans for, you know,
they're amazing,
rocking with me. And like, they've been an incredible part of my journey. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with you and, you know, being able to do all the cool things that I'm doing in my music career. So it's pretty cool.
And what I would say to your fans, and they're not my fans, but I could say just by you being in here and hearing what's coming, what's going on now, this is kind of just the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously, I mean, the slope is just like, it's on the way. It's even more up.
Yeah, I love that. We just getting started.
Yeah, I like that. Ciara, thank you so much for popping by Z100. I'm so glad you spoke to us about everything. I'm so glad you were so real about everything.
Yeah.
But now that you're in our fine city of New York,
yes,
you need to, like, you know, move here. You need to, like,
listen,
you know.
I'm going to come to New York. I'm going to adopt the accent. Like, what up? I don't know if I'm going to be living here, but no, I was like, I love New York. I will eat the New York pizza all day.
All right, favorite toppings on your pizza, real quick.
Favorite toppings? I like pepperoni.
Oh, okay.
I'm really simple.
All right.
If I'm really feeling like extra, like, you know,
saucy,
right. I might, you know, add a little pineapple to the pizza, a little, you know,
little sweetness,
sausage to the pizza.
All
you
right,
know?
all right. And you know, the pizza here is the size of your face. So.
Exactly. So we got to share the pizza.
Or not, whatever you're in the mood for.
Yeah, I'll share my pizza.
All right.
But yeah, no, I love New York. The fans here are amazing. It's always fun with fashion and stuff when I come here.
Absolutely.
And I know we're closing out, so I want to make sure that I just kind of, again, share with the fans and people some of the cool things about my album, Beauty Marks. Again, it's a very special, it's my baby. You know, I'm really, really proud of this journey from creating my own label, Beauty Marks Entertainment, to being able to put my own album out through my own imprint, own my own masters. That's pretty cool. But on this record, I want people to dance. I want people to feel the energy of love. My ultimate goal is to also inspire the world. And that's to also do love and I'm meant to do dance and for us to all connect through love in whatever way. Doesn't mean it has to be a relationship, but just that's the energy that I want to put out in the universe of this project. And when you put this album on, you're going to have a lot of fun. Get ready to dance, get ready to feel some good stuff, some love.
Good vibes.
Yeah, good vibes.
Yeah.
I'm super proud of it. Also, big shout out to Macklemore. He's on this record with me. And then also my girl Kelly Rowland.
Wow,
Girl Gang. Hey. So when you get the album, you'll hear what I'm talking about. But I'm excited about it, super proud. And it's been fun seeing you. It's been so
too.
long.
I know. Listen, we were talking right before we started recording, but I interviewed Ciara many years ago when I was just starting in radio. She was just
I was just a baby
Those
too.
were the goodies days.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. So Ciara, thanks for
Youngin'.
popping by Z100. We're so excited about Beauty Marks and everything that you're going to be doing.
Yay. Thank you so much. And pre-sales are up right now. Pre-order now.
Get it.
Ow.
From the top of the Empire State Building.
Z100.